Alright, welcome back to the channel for another step-by-step lap guide. Here's some key shift points. Keep those in mind and use those as a reference as we go about our lap. This is your goal for getting at least a 3-minute, 19-second lap. I'm using the Sauber Group C machine. So heading towards turn 1, one of the key braking points is actually going to be those first two double total signs right after the double pair of cones. That's actually going to be my braking point, but also heavy brake, downshift to second gear. I found that using first gear tends to upset the car quite a bit, and I don't quite have the skill set to be able to maximize the first gear potential. So after dropping to second gear, be very mindful that while using -3 brake balance, which I am, with negative brake balance I find that the car tends to want to jerk a little bit, so be rather careful when accelerating. And when turning in, I'm actually straddling that white line, so I'm actually not putting the car all the way on the green, all 4 tires. So I'm just lining it up ever so carefully and trying to follow the trajectory that the white line wants to take us. So here I kind of zoom in a little bit more, so we're just lining up the front left tire with the white line. So see that? It seems like we're cutting, but similar to some of the other tracks on the schedule, we're able to get away with it. I found that, yes, if you do put all 4 tires on the green, you'll most likely get a penalty. And knowing this particular track, every time we come here, there's certainly going to be a lot of people doing so. Alright, on the exit, keeping the car nice and tidy, and head toward the downhill up to 4th gear, and down to 3rd through the S's. See that once again? Right-hand turn, I'm lining up the front left tires with the white line, not going over the track to get a penalty. Let's go ahead and zoom in. And there we are once again. So this particular turn does not have the green AstroTurf, it just has the rumble strips. I'm putting the front left and the rear left on the rumble strips, but I'm not going all the way off the track. So that is what's deemed allowed. And that's as close as you can really get. I'm sure you could get a little bit further over, but the purpose of this lap, although it is not anywhere near the fastest on the timesheets, the goal for our lap is to avoid penalties and to keep the car on the track. So as I mentioned previously, I'm actually using -3 brake balance. I found with the MR cars, for my driving style, -3, this car, say like the Porsche 911 Group 3, that tends to be my sweet spot. Anything more or less, and I can't get this car either slowed down enough, or I tend to overshoot the turn. Right here is the most common penalty. A lot of people are most certainly going to either cut too far on the right or go wide on the left. And if you go wide on the left, it'll probably be a ½ second penalty. And as we know from the current penalty system and how Gran Turismo penalties work, ½ second in a fast car like this is probably going to cost you more than that. So you can cut a little bit on the right, but avoid going off the track on the left-hand side. And by following these steps, you should be shortcut penalty free, for at least the first sector. Here we are, keep it nice and tidy. Keeping it tidy also helps with the stability of the car as well. For this step step-by-step guide. I will be cycling through a few times. So the cone, or as I like to call him, green jacket guy, that's our turning point. So see the green jacket guy on our left-hand side? That's going to be the turning point. Because you figure over the course of this race, you might start using cones, and then someone is going to knock the cone over. So green jacket guy, that is our turning point. Drop into third gear, keeping the car nice and tidy, and keeping it on the racetrack. Alright, as we're heading down the Mulsanne straight towards the very first of our chicanes, once again, I noticed there's double cones, but if the double cones leave us, we've got green jacket track marshal guy who apparently is texting. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. That is going to be our braking point. And heading into this first chicane, I'm actually dropping to second gear, and I'm actually avoiding going over the curves. And the reason for that is I found that this particular car, the amount of power it has, tends to get a little bit loose if you get on the curves too much. I use this as a reference. Remember the shift speeds I mentioned at the very start of this video. So from second to third gear, my suggested shift point is 112 miles an hour or 180 kilometers. Third to fourth, that's 155 miles an hour or 249 kilometers. Fourth to fifth, 192 miles an hour or 309 kilometers. So as we go into the second chicane, one thing you'll notice if you cycle back through my video, there's a 100-meter board on the right-hand side. That's going to be the braking point, but that's also going to be your cue to drop back down to second gear to keep the car tidy. And as we end at the Mulsanne straight, we're going to brake at the start of the rumble strips. So I know, I acknowledge that there's the two double cones just past it. I would suggest starting to brake at the start of the rumble strips. That way you're able to get the car slowed down in time, and especially if you're in slipstream, that'll ensure that you're not going to send the car ahead of you into the shadow realm and give yourself a penalty and some engine damage. So although you could use first gear at the exit, I suggest if you're going to do that to shift to second gear right away. Don't rev it out. Second gear keeps the car a bit more stable upon exit. So see there also how I didn't just mash down the gas right away. I kind of eased into it. Found that you mash it down, and that's how I spoiled a number of my laps around here. Right, so I suppose you could call this the back straight, but remember the shift speeds. Heading into this fast right-hand turn, one thing you'll notice is there's a green strip still on the tarmac. That's going to be my cue at the end of that green strip. That's actually going to be my cue to drop to fourth and do half brake. And at the start of the rumble strips is again where we're going to start to be more mindful of, oh my gosh, we have to slow this car down and we have to downshift a second. So as we kind of look over where that single cone was, that's where the green strip was. And I would do half brake at the start of the rumble strips. Fourth gear I meant. And then full brake in second gear at the cones. Tripping over my words here. Heading into this next little section, it's very important that we brake enough and we get a good exit, because this is setting us up for one of the faster parts of the track as well. So I start braking at the cones, and I try and get the car slowed down enough by that 50-meter board on the left-hand side. After we get the car slowed down just enough, I'll actually drop to first for just a split second, and then once again flick to second gear. We don't want to rev this car out too much in first gear because it will start to sputter and you'll lose a lot of time that way. Just to backtrack a bit, just to re-watch what we've done so far, heading into the fast section, there's the green patch. That's our cue. Drop to fourth gear. Double cones, go ahead and drop to second, full brake. Upon the exit, up to third quickly. Double cones, between the double cones and the 50, down to first gear. Split second, second gear. There we are. Remember those shifting speeds. Third gear, fourth gear. We're up to fifth gear at 192 miles an hour. Once again, this flowing fast turn has a green patch on the left side. That would be my cue. Drop to fourth. Right there by the cone. Drop to fourth. You can actually take this turn after the rumble strips flat out. Use the whole track. And I'll actually drop to third. There's another area where people are notorious to just go wide. Sure, you can carry a lot of speed that way, but you're also risking a penalty. And after we go through the flowing fast turns, my next braking point's actually not the cones. There's a light, the caution light, it's the green flag light, it's that light right there. That's actually the braking point. Because if the cones get knocked over, that braking spot is not going anywhere. Nice and tidy through there. Right, light on the right side. Yep, that's our cue, and we're going to actually shift from fourth down to third gear. We're going to hold third through this little left-right action. So just to kind of zoom in again, yes, that's where we want to brake. That you brake at the cones and you may be braking a little bit too early and risking losing a few tenths off your lap. Yep, so then we're going to try third gear. Then we're going to drop to first. Once again, back up to second right away for a nice exit. So there's my lap, 3 minutes 18.7. So now we're going to ride on board for the full unedited lap. Previous track guide video, one of the things that we're looking for right here, the double total signs. Drop to second gear, keep the car nice and steady, line up the front left tire with the white line. Do not cut the track, do not want to get a penalty this early in your lap. Alright, downhill through the S's. Now we drop from fourth to third. Keep the car nice and tidy once again. Look for green jacket guy, that's your cue. Third gear. Keep it nice and tidy. That's where most of the penalties will be happening. So I invite you and suggest to look for those braking points and to also check out the previous 12 minutes of this video of the step-by-step guide. Heading towards the first chicane, we're looking for the green marshal or the double cones. Drop to second gear. Keep the car nice and tidy. And upon the exit, I tend to ease into the throttle, but then the car will, especially under tire wear circumstances, it's definitely going to get a little bit more squirrelier as your race progresses. And then towards the second chicane, there is the blue, right there, blue 100 marker in the trees. That's my cue to brake, downshift to second gear. Remember our shift speeds at the start of the video. We're looking at 112 miles an hour, second to third, 155 from third to fourth, and 192 from fourth to fifth. And as we head into this super slow turn, we start downshifting braking at the start of the rumble strips. First gear for just a split second, up to second, up to third. That was a little bit early that time for me, but an hour quicker I did it, but nonetheless, there we are maintaining our gears, heading towards this fast-flowing section. There's the green strip on the right, or I'm sorry, on the left-hand side. That's going to be our cue to do half brake, drop to fourth, double cones, drop to second, slow section, double cones, drop to second, drop to first, and then flick to second right away. Under the Porsche bridge. I'm trying to get up to speed. There's the green strip on the left-hand side. Fourth gear. Keep it nice and steady now, flat out. There we go, just flat out. For the most part, drop to third. Keep the car within the track limits. Back up to fourth. Now I'm looking for the light that's on the fence on the right-hand side. That's my cue to brake. From fourth down to third. Down to first. Went up to second right away. Once again, there is my lap. 3 minutes, 18.7 at the time of this video. That was a top 10 leaderboard time. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.